That right there, that's the thumbnail. Hey guys, how y'all doing? Welcome back. Today we're going to be doing this look. If you haven't already read in the title below, this is going to be an in-depth foundation or base routine. I'm going to go through each step to recreate this look. If you like what you see, please keep watching and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you. Good afternoon, good night, good whatever time you're watching this video. If you're new here, my name is Ashley Shakana. If you aren't, welcome back. Thank you so much for joining me. Today we're going to be doing a flawless foundation or flawless base routine. Stop before you even start the video. Go ahead, like, comment, and subscribe on this video down below. And if you haven't watched my first YouTube video on my quarantine everyday routine, please be sure to check that out. I'll go ahead and insert a card on one of these sides up below. You can click on that. All right, let's get into it. So first thing, in order for your foundation to be flawless, honey, you want to make sure that you're taking care of your skin, moisturizing. If not, if you put foundation on top, it's just going to crack and look crusty, and we're not doing that in 2020, okay? So I already moisturized my face. You guys can let me know if you want to see my skincare routine. My skin has cleared up dramatically. Like, y'all, people who know me, y'all know how my face used, like, I had breakouts all on my cheeks. Just So if you guys are interested in that, let me know. But we're gonna go ahead and jump in. So first step with flawless foundation is having a good primer, a primer that suits your skin. So I have oily skin and I have like texture around my nose and my cheeks. So I like something that's smoothing. My favorite, all-time favorite primer is a Smashbox Photo Finish. It's like a silicone-like primer, and so it fills in my pores, has my skin flawless. My foundation lays like butter. Okay. Also, I know a lot of oily people like mattifying primers. Me myself, unless it's a hot summer day and I know I'm gonna be outside, I don't go for the mattifying primer just because I like my skin to look kind of not dewy but like more like satin finish. But that's an option, and that was the Becca Evermatte Poreless Priming Perfector that I showed you. That, honey, it's going to snatch the oil out of your pores completely. Like, but I do use that if I know I'm gonna be outside and it's, you know, really hot. I know I'm expecting myself to sweat. And then also I have a Pixi by Petra primer. So this right here, oops, there we go. It is it's a flawless and poreless primer, so it's kind of a combination of like the Smashbox and then like an illuminating primer, because it gives you like a iridescent type finish. So I use that if I'm going for a really dewy look. But today we're going to be using the Smashbox primer. So I'm going to go ahead and put like a pea-sized amount on my fingers and go ahead and rub that in, focusing like around my nose and on the sides, like my cheek and everything. And today I use what is it? The Tarte Marula oil. And it has my skin feeling like really silky. So y'all should check that out. All right, so next we're gonna go into foundation. So when choosing a foundation, it just really depends on the look that you're going for, like what type of finish. If you want a satin-like finish, a dewy finish, a matte finish, and then also how much coverage you want, which most foundations are gonna be buildable. I normally start with like a medium coverage foundation, and if I want more coverage, I go in with concealer, honestly. But so today we're gonna be using the NARS Sheer Glow foundation. This is like a medium coverage foundation, and it gives like a satin skin-like finish. So I'm gonna go ahead and put that on the back of my hand. Probably, this doesn't have a pump, so I try not to put too much. But I'm gonna go in with a Sigma Flat Kabuki F80 brush. This is flat top, so if you're looking for more fuller coverage, this is the type of brush that you want to use, because it's going to go ahead and like kind of pack that pack the foundation in without like shearing it out as far as coverage. So I'm going for full coverage because y'all know I'm a full coverage type of girl, so I'm gonna use this brush today. You're welcome to use like a beauty blender if you want something that's more natural, not as much coverage. Some people use like those painter type brushes, the flat brushes. I'll use that to apply my actual foundation, but I don't normally blend it out with that. So I'm just gonna pat some foundation in, and then I go back and blend it. And when applying your foundation, you want to put the most foundation in the center of your face and then blend it out. And then you want to put only a little bit on your forehead, or at least I put a little bit on my forehead because I know I'm going to contour and highlight and everything, and you don't want it to look really cakey around your hairline. So put a little bit more back my hand because I feel like I probably put like a pump. Going for like 2 pumps. And then I normally just like, as I blend it out, I'll dab on my hand, and if I see I need like a spot where I need more coverage. But we're going to blend that out. And then you want to also make sure when you're blending that you take it underneath your chin so that you don't have that line of demarcation and look like you're wearing a mask. Because that's not cute. And then I have really deep smile lines, I'm happy. So I don't put as much foundation around my smile lines. Sometimes you'll actually see me like, I'll go like this and I'll kind of just wipe off some, just because I don't want, because basically the more product that you use, that's the more or product that's going to settle into those lines. So I try to avoid that, like my smile lines. And I only put a little bit on the top of my lip because I know I'm going to go in with concealer. Yes, this foundation is doing it, honey. Like it, I like it. I'm gonna get around our nose. And don't be afraid, like if you don't feel like you're getting into that crack, pull your nose over. Get it to there. Now up. I'm just gonna slide my little headband back just a little bit so I can kind of get into that hairline. Because again, if you don't blend it out, you'll have that like mask looking look. So you just want to make sure you blend that out, and yeah, I'm just gonna wipe smile lines because it will crease. And it's like crazy, no matter if I set it, like I've tried all different hacks and I just can't get my smile lines to act right. Like they're just disrespectful. All right, so we have our foundation laid down. Next thing we're gonna go into is concealer. So for concealer, lately I've been liking these 2 concealers combined. This is the e.l.f. Hydrating Camo Concealer. And I use this in like a neutral tone because I use it as almost like a color corrector. So I use this one around my my stash, my little stash line, and then also underneath my eyes to cancel out that the darkness. And then I also use the Fenty Beauty concealer. And so this I just use for the color and the coverage. So I'm gonna go ahead and lay that down. First, we're using that e.l.f. And so I just put it on my stash. Because if not, when you take pictures and stuff, like most times you won't see it in person, but when you take pictures, if you don't color correct, you'll see like a gray tone underneath your foundation. We want our pictures to be flawless. It's a flawless foundation look. And then I go ahead and go underneath my eyes. Now just kind of cover the veins that I have. Like you literally can see my veins. Like I'm pale, y'all. I am so pale. I need some sun. So after I apply that, if you want, you can go ahead and blend it in, but I just go ahead and put my other concealer right on top. And I only put it on top of underneath my eyes. My actual lips, I just blend that out, and it normally blends out well. So we're just gonna put our Fenty concealer on top of that. Bring it down, and then I put a little bit over here on the corner of my nose because I get red around there, and then it looks just more cohesive when you have like basically that triangle in the middle of your face. You do that on the other side as well. And then to highlight, I'm gonna go down the bridge of my nose, my chin, and then right in between my eyebrows on my forehead. And so basically when you're highlighting, you're just hitting the areas where the sunlight hits you naturally. So I don't know if you ever noticed, like those are the places of your face that's typically lighter. So that's basically where you're applying this concealer. So that way it brings out those features. We're also going to be contouring today. And for contour, I'm going to use that Born to Glow foundation from NYX. And so I got this in a shade or two darker than my skin. And I used it a few times this week. And I just like the way it looks. So we're going to use that again today. It's like, it's very skin-like. I feel like it blends in with my foundation very well. And so I do the same thing. I apply that on the back of my hand. And so the reason that a lot of, like when people are doing their makeup, they apply it on the back of their hands, it warms up the product. And so when it warms up the product, it's easier to blend and it applies better. Don't ask me, that's what we do, okay? And then to go ahead and place and blend it out, I'm gonna use the same brush today. I'm using an e.l.f. stipple brush. And so I just dab into that and just basically place it where I want it to go. And I like my contour fairly high because I want my cheeks to sit up to the heavens. So I go ahead and place that pretty high up. Just dab, dab, dab. And so this is like a full coverage foundation routine. If y'all are interested in like a everyday, like a legit everyday 5-minute makeup routine, I have one of those as well. So just let me know down below, like in the comments, if y'all are interested in a little 5-minute routine. Like a get up, look cute, or get decent so you can go to work or go to school. I mean, we're not going nowhere now, but if you were to go. So we're gonna go ahead and just apply that. And I like my concealer to sit, my highlight concealer to sit so that it can dry down a little bit and get a little bit tacky. And what that does is it allows for you to get more coverage out of the concealer. So I normally go ahead and apply that, and then I'll blend out my contour. Ooh, brain fart. I'll blend out my contour while I'm waiting for that to set a little bit. So we're gonna go ahead and do that. And with that, I just kind of tap, 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 tap it in. Ooh, got a little concealer. Do the same down here. And then I'm a person, I use sponges and brushes. I normally go back and forth. I use the brush and then I go back and blend it a little bit with the sponge. So that's basically what I'm gonna do here. I'm just gonna blend it out a little bit. Maybe I shouldn't have used a stipple and brush. It's going on like my highlight. I'm being disrespectful, trying to embarrass me in front of camera any other time. But so I'm just blending it out some. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to use my own blender. It's not blending how I want it to, but that's cool. With makeup, you'll sometimes you make mistakes, but you always can fix it. No big deal. So I'm just gonna go in with my Senior Ketchup beauty sponge. Ooh, what is a sponge? What is a sponge? My beauty sponge, and I'm gonna go ahead and use the booty to blend it out some more. Yeah. And I'm going for a more seamless look. Like sometimes I want my contour to be sharp cut and like you see where it starts, where it ends. But today we're, you know, going for a softer foundation look, but still dramatic. Definitely dramatic. But we just want it to blend in, like where you can't really see where it stops, where it begins. It just all looks very effortlessly blended. So we're gonna do that. I don't know what a boom, 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 boom is, but apparently I like saying that, huh? And don't forget to take it underneath the chin, because that's gonna shave off that little double chin that we get. And I know y'all in the house like I am during quarantine and just eating. Granted, I'm trying to gain a little weight, so, but I don't want to gain it right here because that's not cute. So we're gonna go ahead and just blend that out. And now I feel like my concealer has sat a little bit in the middle of my face. So I'm gonna go ahead and blend that out. And then afterwards, we'll probably just go over the face one more time with the sponge. So to blend my, you know what? To blend out my concealer, I'm gonna use a sponge. I like using a sponge. If you like to use brushes or you prefer brushes, a really good brush to blend out your concealer is, let's see if I can find it. Sorry, I'm all, is this Real Techniques, what type of brush? It's a setting brush. This is really good to blend out underneath the eyes. And you can use, like, I normally have two. So I use one for when I'm blending it out if I want to use a brush, and then I use the other one to set it. So if you like using brushes over sponges, this is a great alternative. So we're gonna go ahead and use a sponge and blend out that concealer. And then, so in order to get like close into the corners and underneath the eyes, what you want to do is pinch your blender. That way you're able to get it without like putting it everywhere. So I'm gonna go ahead and pinch my blender and bring that product all the way up. And so normally I do my eyes first, and so I don't, you know, have the chance to bring my concealer on my eyelids. But since we're doing a really simple eye today, I'm just gonna go ahead and take that foundation all over my lids as well. I mean that concealer over my lids as well. I probably should have put some foundation up there when I was blending my foundation, but we'll do the we can do the concealer, that works. Do the other under eye. I'm not sure why I'm doing my under eyes first. I normally do my chin. I work my way up and then I do my eyes, but I don't know. Today the spirits told me, go ahead and blend out your eyes, girl. Go ahead and blend out your eyes. So that's what I did. Blend it out. I just dab, 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 dab. I'm gonna go ahead and do my chin, and I blend my chin all the way kind of like this, up. And then I'm gonna go ahead and blend out the top of my lip. Ooh, I look really bright today. Yeah. It's okay, when we bronze and stuff though, it'll kind of tone it down where I don't look like super crazy. But you just want to make sure you blend all that concealer out. Do the eyelid. Get into that corner. Especially if you're like me, like right here is so dark. So I have to make sure I hit the concealer with that, because if not, it'll just look ooky. And we are going for a flawless base. And we're gonna go ahead and blend out that highlight on the nose and take that up into the forehead. And so if you feel like your products have dried down too much, what you can do is spray your face. So I'm gonna spray mine with the Smashbox Photo Finish Primer Water. So some people use this as primer too. Sometimes I will spray this on top of my primer. I didn't today. Ooh. But we're just gonna go ahead and wet our face up a little bit more to make it a little bit easier to blend. I might have let it sit a little bit too long. No worries though, everything can be fixed. I basically blended out all the concealer. Then what I also go and do is I take that foundation that I use. I don't put any more foundation, but I use the foundation that's still on the brush, and I kind of just go over the edges where that concealer from the highlight and the foundation meets. And definitely on the forehead, because for some reason mine does not ever want to blend properly. I guess it's me, huh? And so we have our foundation laid out. Now it's time to set. Yeah. Okay, so to set, I just started using, and I really think I like it, the e.l.f. Halo Glow Powder. And underneath the eyes, to me what this one does, it doesn't make the underneath your eyes look like cracky and dry and stuff, because I find like underneath my eyes they're just naturally dry even when I moisturize it. So I like this stuff because it sets your product in place, but it doesn't leave it dry and crusty. So that's what I'm going to be using underneath my eyes today, and I'm using that, like, I think in a light color. So I just put some in the top, grab my blender, and what you want to go ahead and do is just go over the areas underneath your eyes where the product might have settled inside of your creases. Just blend it out one more time to make sure it's smooth. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. And then as soon as I blend it into that powder, sometimes I put it on the back of my hand just to get the excess powder off, and then I pat that in, set that. It's not gonna move today. Go ahead and do that other eye. We don't have no time for creasing. Then I go ahead and set on top of my lip as well. Oops. Wanted some product. Ooh. There we go. So our under eyes are set. And some people like to bake. I don't bake again because, like I said, my under eyes are dry, and so when I bake, I just found that it makes it look really crepey. And so I just go ahead and pat the product in completely. And I am using, I'm sorry, I didn't say that earlier. Excuse me. Even when I blend out my concealer, I'm using a damp beauty blender. So you want to make sure you wet your beauty blender, or this isn't a beauty blender, but your beauty sponge, so that way it doesn't absorb all the product, because a dry sponge is going to absorb the product. So I go ahead and wet it. And then also a trick that I just learned, so even when you're like about to blend out your concealer, what you want to do is put a little bit of product on it first. So I just normally dab it on the back of my hand and use whatever foundation or whatever that's on there. That way it has product already, and so when you start blending, it's not going to pick up your concealer. Giving out all the little tricks today, okay? I'm just going back on those smile lines and just kind of patting those in. Same thing with underneath my eyes. Just making sure that powder's pat in. So now we want to go ahead and set our face. And to set our face, we'll be using the Sephora Micro Smooth powder. And I'll be using an This is a Eco Styler, I'm sorry, Eco Tools brush. And this is a sheer powder brush. And so I'm just gonna take that and set the rest of my face anywhere where I didn't use that e.l.f. powder to set. So just swirl that in there and just tap, 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 tap. My face is looking really good today, okay? Okay, NARS. That NARS foundation is popping. And I just ordered the Natural Radiant foundation from NARS. I've heard so many good things. Like, I'm so excited. Like, also, hurry up, send my package, because I can't wait to try that foundation. Like, I'm legit super excited because I've heard it's like this foundation, but just more coverage. So, ooh, just wait. Just wait till outside open. It'll be cute, honey. So, we set it. We set it. Is that a word? I don't think so. We set our face with this powder. So now that that's set, we can go ahead and start setting our contour and everything. So I know you noticed that I did already take that Sephora powder and I went over my contour. And so the reason I do that is that when you do that first and then you go in and set your contour, it allows the brush to glide more on that. Like, it's not, sometimes you'll notice, like, if you go straight into your brain fart, if you go straight into your contour powder on top of like the wet or the foundation, it'll kind of create patchiness. And so I go ahead and set it, then go in with this right here. This is what I'm going in with today is the Fenty Beijing Girl. Hey Riri, I love this powder. So I'm gonna go in with that in a more M527 brush. So I just get the product on there and go ahead and set the areas where we contour. And I don't know if you noticed, but it's like real subtle. That's what I was going for today, like a really subtle contour. I like that. So we go ahead and basically when you're doing your bronzer, you're doing it in like the a number 3. So number 3. And then you do want to go underneath your chin because we're trying to cut that double chin, honey. And then depending, sometimes I'll go like on my neck as well, just because it might be a little lighter than what my face is or what it looks like with the bronzer. So after we get that set, I'm also going to go in with a MAC. This is a blush and blunt. And we're gonna do this more as a contour. So honestly, the Fenty is, well, I said it's a bronzer, but we set our contour with it. And then I'm gonna go in and like create more depth with this one, the blunt. So I'm gonna take this is actually a no-name brush. I got it out of a little brush set out of Ross, but it is just really soft, kind of fluffy. I'm gonna use that to go ahead and add some depth to the bronzer. And we're just gonna lightly, nothing too major. And since this brush is so soft, I do swipe this one versus patting it, but it doesn't disrupt the product underneath. Just to make sure everything's cohesive, I'll go ahead and add a little bit up there. Down here too. Perfect. All right, so now we're gonna go ahead and put our finishing touches on our face. That's our blush, our highlight, all that good stuff. So for blush today, I'm using another MAC blush. This is in the color Raisin, and I'm going to use a e.l.f. Flawless Face Brush. Ooh, Flawless Face Brush. I can't talk today. What's going on? All right. And so I just kind of place that right on top of your bronzer. And then depending on the day, sometimes I like it to be on like the apples of my cheeks, so I just kind of round it out. And I guess that's that type of day today since I'm doing it. And you see how it just adds that little cute blush. And I have huge cheeks, but I still love blush. Yeah. Aww. That baby doll effect. And so I place that and take it all. I take it all the way back to my ear, or the top of my ear, and then you can always smile if you need help with placement. Boom. And then highlight. So some days I don't highlight, it just depends on it. But today I'm gonna be using the Artist Couture X Jackie Aina highlight. This is the one in La Peach. And I'm gonna go in. Oh, you know what? Now I ought to be ashamed of myself. I didn't contour my nose. So I think today I'm just gonna contour it with powder. But you are able to contour it with they know I'm recording and they're gonna, I'll call her back later. That's my sister bothering me. All right, so back to it. So to contour my nose today, I'm gonna be using that Profusion contour palette. And so I got this, I think from either Ross, Marshall, TJ, one of those type stores. And I'm just using like a gray toned concealer powder that's in there. And so when you're contouring your nose, you want to start at your eyebrows and just kind of take it all the way down. So take it down the bridge of your nose. I'm gonna do that on both sides. And then what I do is to cut off the bottom of my nose, I just do right there. I have to focus on this. I'm sorry I'm being quiet because I'm still working on mastering my why they calling me again, y'all? But I'm still working on mastering this nose contour, so I gotta get quiet on that one. Yeah, we can work with it. And then what I do, I like to set my nose contour. And to set it, I use one of those little cheap beauty supply sponges, and I take the powder that I'm using and then I go around the edges as well as. All right, my bad, y'all. My sister just kept calling me because she had the tea, and so you know I had to talk to her real quick. But when I left off, I was telling you guys how I set my nose contour, and I'm sorry I did it off camera, but I'll just kind of show y'all what I did. So I used this beauty sponge, and I used that same e.l.f. Powder, and so I just basically use the edges to create like that the bake. And so I dipped it, boom, 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 pow, boom, 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 pow, and then down the center. And so what I do is I just let that sit while I do the remainder of my makeup. And then I go ahead and I also like to set my, like kind of cut my contour a little bit. Although today we did say we're going for a really blended look. So I'm just going to do it a little bit, and we're going to take it right back off. I promise, I promise. So boom. Just go ahead and lay that down. And we're going to do the other side as well. And we just bring it down to basically the corner of your lips. Mine are a little crusty too. Dang. Y'all could have told me my lips was crusty. And so since we're looking for a real, we don't want it to be too cut, we're just going to go ahead and take it right off. Just to clean it up just a little bit. Ooh, okay. All right, so now for, you know, the fun part, the part that people love is the glow, honey. That when you see me from a mile away type glow, okay? So I am using, like I said, that Jackie Aina and Artist Couture collaboration, the La Peach. And I'm gonna be using a Morphe M510 brush. So I'm just gonna dab that in. You gotta be careful because with these loose highlights, they are messy. And so we're just gonna, you know, get our brush, tap tap, and I put mine right here at the highest point. Ooh, ooh, y'all see that? Right? And I try to do it really light, because if not, honey, I mean, I want to shine bright like a diamond, but you know, I don't want them to be blinded and stuff. Or maybe I do want them to be, you know what? Let me stop playing with y'all. And that color, oh my god, ooh, it's like that peach. Ooh, just ooh. Jackie, you did that one, okay? So I'm gonna do that to both sides. And then if you want, you can kind of take that underneath the eyebrow, the brow bone. Oh, okay, see, that's what I was talking about. You can look crazy, a little overzealous, and just do that same side. You see that? Do you see that? Oh, just in case you didn't see that. And if you want, sometimes I go on my chin really lightly. This one's a little peach tone, so I might not go ham. And then in the center of your forehead, and it just creates a nice little reflective look. Okay. A little bit more. I'm sorry. I know I said a little bit, y'all. I know I said a little bit, but I just can't help myself. Dang. Ooh. Ooh. And then what I do, just so you don't have that really like just line up highlight, I go back in with either my powder brush or sometimes even my bronzer or blush brush. I'm gonna do the blush brush. And I just kind of blend that in. So just tap, 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 tap. All right, face. All right, then I like to go in with my like a setting spray. Where's my Morphe setting spray? Wait a second. Oh, there it is. I was about to say now. So I like to go in with the setting spray. Just tip: don't talk while you spraying your setting spray, because go all in your mouth and stuff, and just it ain't, you know, taste too good. So I go ahead. I want to get one of those fans so I could be like, you know, but for now we don't have it, so we're just gonna let the air dry it. And then we're gonna go ahead and dust off that nose contour. When I really dust it off, what I do is take my powder brush and just kind of just pat it in, baby. Pat it in. Pat, pat, pat. Pat, pat, pat. You was actually supposed to do that before you sprayed your face, but you know, it ain't gonna hurt nobody if we do it this way. Period. Spray one more time. So refreshing. And then we have to put some highlight in the center of our nose. Duh. So do that same little highlighter. Swirl a little brush in there. Tap, 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 and just on the bridge of your nose. Sometimes I do it with my finger and just rub it in. Blend it in, honey. Ooh, face is basically done. I look a little oily on my nose, so what I'm gonna do, sorry y'all, take a little, just a little powder, just to kind of tone down the oils, you see. And so I'm gonna hop off camera and just do the finishing touches to my face, my eyeliner, lip gloss, all that stuff, because this is just a foundation routine. So we're gonna X-nay the rest of that, okay? Hold up, guys. Back, I've applied my liner, my lips, my lashes. We is set. Oh, you know what? Now that we're saying set, one more step, y'all. One more, last one. You just want to make sure that you set everything in place. And a really good setting spray or finishing spray is the Urban Decay All Nighter. So I'm gonna go ahead and spray that. All right. Now the look is complete. Face is sitting. What was the category again? You said face? Oh, okay. Thank you guys so much though for watching. I really appreciate it. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Share this video. Tell a friend to tell a friend. You know, help a girl out. If you guys have any videos that y'all would like to see, please be sure to comment down below. And yeah, just thank you so much for watching. Y'all have a good one. See y'all next time. Bye-bye.